I guess I'm the rose between these two thorns, huh?
I think you're the thorn between these two roses. Good morning.
From a rainy Vegas.
But warm.
Hey, snow, rain, totally normal.
It's supposed to be windy today.
Okay, we're starting us off with a good quote. You want to hear it, you two?
Sure.
You could be more than you are. When you dare aspire upward, you reveal the inadequacy of the present and the promise of the future. Isn't that nice?
That is nice. Where'd you hear that?
I think I read it in a book that the 12 Rules of Life by Jordan. I can't remember his name. Peterson.
Yeah.
So we are here to bring you the truth. You cool with that?
Truth be told. Truth be told.
Whether you like it or not. And we have Angie here to make it a little bit more pleasant when the truth is told, right?
I guess.
Well, at least it'll look a little bit nicer.
I don't know what we're talking about though, so.
Yeah, you do. We just talked
I
about it.
mean, yeah.
Just
go ahead.
you go with the roll.
I mean-
Go with the roll. Roll with the go.
That was the prep time.
Okay.
Oh, my wife, I
A
love
minute
you.
of prep time. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I've been prepping this for a while. We are at episode 36. A special Dave and Angie, the Tina show. And,
Plan.
yeah. This is how we roll. Okay, we're gonna jump right in. So, a couple of these things are meant to address, I wouldn't say issues, topics, themes, things that are going on in today's real estate industry. Number one is, when do realtors retire? I got an email yesterday, and it was prefaced on when do realtors retire. I am 100% confident this was a, I know the person who sent it, and I know what company he's with, but there's no like, oh, I'm with so-and-so. It's just basically a push, right? To try to get people interested in order, with a catchy thing. So without getting too much into that, what the email made me start thinking of, when do realtors retire, right? Because in the email, it's like, realtors don't have a plan and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, you know what? Who really does have a retirement plan? This isn't a realtor-specific issue,
No.
right?
No.
Yeah, most people don't.
Because people
Yeah.
retire. Some people retire because they don't want to work anymore. Some never want to retire.
So in this email, someone that me and you know pretty well, about how 2005, hurt a lot of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hurt you.
Nope.
Because, why? Not to ask you the rhetorical question, but did you not do for yourself what you recommended your clients do?
Yes. And I think out of maybe...
You want to explain to them with buying houses and how
Well,
leveraged you were? And
I, as a realtor, wouldn't sell $0 down to clients. I would advise them, as they were doing rental homes, put 20% down, be cautious in case there's a rainy day, which the advantage of having 42 years is I've seen the rainy days.
Well, back then it wasn't.
So-
it was 30 years, right?
Right. So what I did
Well, even less.
I would tell them, don't take the bad loans. You explain those loans good because you were a mortgage broker previous, and I wouldn't let them take the 125%. And then every check I got, I put a little bit away for the rainy day. So
during the good times,
right.
when you were making great money, this guy was making more money than you, probably. He was crushing it. You bought houses with, some you bought cash, right? Some you bought with 40% down.
Some 20,
Some
but
20.
always a buffer, so I didn't have to short sale and lose everything.
So let me ask you, let me follow up. So at the time, I know of 3 or 4 properties that you owned, right?
Mhm.
Just go one by one. You still do, a signature property, MGM.
Yeah, which took a total dump.
So just give them an idea of what it started out, what it went to, and what
I bought it for $3.25. The day after I walked out, I was offered by MGM Sales $600.
So $325 you purchased it for. It hit a
$600.
peak of almost $1,000 a foot.
Right,
Yeah.
and then it went down to $120.
It was like $150. It was low,
120.
right?
And now it's back up to about $275, $280. but I didn't.
What happened the entire time with collecting
The
rent?
entire time it was rented, it was vibrant. I never lost money. My
It
rate
cash flowed
Right.
every single
every
month.
single month.
Yep.
Some of it was 2% or 4% or 10%, but because I didn't put myself in a situation of a zero down, I was able to maintain it through the good, bad, and the ugly.
So you cash flowed. You weren't concerned with your net worth.
Nope.
Because people have this issue of, and we'll bring you in here for a second, of I'm worth an X amount of dollars because they have a perceived idea of what the house is worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, or even what your business is worth. But I have this thing is, you can't sit on cash. You can't. When you talk about retirement, what's the number one thing you need? Do you need more? What's your opinion? Do you need more money in the bank, or do you need more money coming in monthly? What do you think? Monthly, right? Cash flow. So through that entire time, you cash flowed.
Yep.
Let's talk about. Oh, and we got tons of enjoyment out of it. It's not a pitch for condotels, but Angie and I have used it a million times. You've used it a million times. Family members have used it a million
I
times.
have given it to charity a million times,
Which we're doing.
which we're doing for Tierras on 27th. Yeah.
And you're still cash flowing it, even to this
Still clash flowing it.
day. Yeah.
Oh. And you had the discipline, thinking long term, right? Okay.
I understand people that lost their houses because some people just bought one house and they went from zero, say 100,000 to zero. So I understand why people lost, and I think the point he's trying to make is retiring through the stocks of the company or something like that.
Yeah, so we're going to get to that. So let's talk also about, so you did this again in Ivy Glen, right? Super disciplined again. And I don't mean to put you, here's the thing. People need to see successful realtors who've been in the game over 40 years and did it right, walk the walk, right? If you're telling your clients, you have tons of investors, right? If you're telling your investors, hey, listen, buy this house, put this money down, you're going to be able to cash flow every month, why are we not doing it, right? That would be the question. So you have literally told them to do it and then did it yourself,
Yeah.
right? So your house in Ivy Glen you bought a week after 9/11, right? Where there was a ton of uncertainty, at about 190, right? How high did that thing go?
It went up to about 450.
425, right? So I'll spare you the suspense on this one. Same thing, went back down to like 225, right? Up to all the way
And I
back
had
up.
a mortgage on it for 250.
Yeah, but you cash flowed that every month too.
Yeah,
You got a
every month.
HELOC on
HELOC.
that thing.
Yeah, but I could have short sold it.
Totally. And then you want to talk about even more discipline, moves into it, takes advantage of living in the two years out of 5,
Right.
which is something
To
that
get the 250 tax break.
which NAR has fought to keep for
Protect.
you, right? That's where all our money's going. And then sold that for a profit, tax free, or very minimal tax.
Minimal tax.
So there's a recurring. So just when do realtors retire? My first thing is buy houses. Number one, like walk the walk.
It's your safe bet.
Okay. Then me and you, we do investing in what? The whole life insurance, right? So you want to explain a little bit of that?
No.
Just
I
give us
still don't understand.
Just give us
a
an.
little bit.
You want me to do it?
No, it's basically you invest a certain portion of income per year. So Dave has a policy, I have a policy, the girls have a policy. You can kind of, the max is unlimited.
So the way it works is
Is it a deduction off your taxes?
no. So here's what's beautiful about it. There's a floor and a ceiling. It can never, regardless of what the stock market does, it can never go under 0.
Yeah.
So it's all based on compound interest, right? So
For the first like 4 to 5 to 6 years, you're actually losing money on your investment. You're putting this huge amount in, you're putting
Right.
a huge amount in, and then eventually it meets kind of where it needs to meet, and then you'll start accumulating money, and then you can borrow against that
Right.
and then at a certain age you get a portion.
You
So
get
like,
a death benefit.
yeah, you get a death benefit. Well, you have your death benefit the whole time, but then
Yeah.
at a certain age, like for example, we put 5,000 a year for each kid. By the time Lola, I think, is like
50.
45, even because she's younger, she'll be able to take like $75,000 out a year just to have that every single year to come out. And she can choose to take it a little bit sooner and have less come out, or she can keep it in longer and have more come out in the end. But that's
Super conservative.
yeah.
Right.
Just putting the money in, no downside, attached to
And
200
then that way,
years.
if you die, I can then retire.
Can we kill him?
I'm worth.
Yeah.
I'm,
You can't. Well,
am I still worth more dead than I'm alive? Just right on the teeter, right?
I'm
And
worth more dead because I have the other life insurance fund.
I don't know. I'm looking at your earning potential for the next
Oh.
30 years. I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
I'll
You're
take.
But we need to start investing in homes too.
Yeah, well, we invested in the third thing, right? So we invested in a business, which we continually invest in,
Yeah.
which could be the riskiest of the three. It doesn't seem risky now, 7-8 years in. We're still right, and we see return on that. Which
But
every
you're missing the most important investment.
yes, we're getting to that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You wanna
Investing in yourself.
investing in yourself, super important. So the investing in yourself ties into what we were just talking about a little bit with that other part of the business, right? So if you're an entrepreneur, you own your own business, right? And even if you're a realtor, you own your own business. So in essence, you're investing in yourself every time you invest in learning, lead generation, whatever. That is investing money and time into things that will pay you on a return, right? And listen, most of you, this is 101, but for a lot of you, it's not. And I think that's where people get caught up, and I'm not going to call, man, I just felt like you know who when I said, I'm not going to call it this, but then you call it that. Definitely don't want to be like that other DJT. Okay, I think realtors and people in general need to be educated to know that, I mean, we had Anthony Faso here last week, and he said these are your 4 major investments. You know, he
Right.
was saying one.
The thing I like about investing in houses is I could control it myself. I don't have to worry about the stock market like in these new companies where you buy, you know, you own. I don't want to own stock. One day it went down 50%, and what you think you have, you lose. The thing about houses is the control is 100% within you, and I like to know that I can control what I do.
Yeah.
Yes. But an email like this, and this is where I'm not going to go after a company, but I will first go along the line and say, I believe that a real estate company, and I'll say our real estate company, our model, is we'll never ask you to go do things that are going to benefit us first. Does that make sense? Like we have no refer a certain amount of agents and get a certain amount. No one's yelling urban nest from the mountaintops
Because they're getting a payoff in the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, you got to be careful. I think it started probably 10 years ago with a certain company where they got referral checks by the amount of people that they referred, right? And a lot of people would hit you up and say, hey, you want to come join so-and-so company? And then they'd get these residual checks, right? And now there's another company, and it's like constant bombardment. I saw a funny a meme where it was, you know, like one of those church people come to your door, and instead of them selling religion, they were selling that real estate company. They were like, "Oh, would you like to know about our real estate company?"
Well, it's like a multi-level marketing.
Exactly. Now, I'm gonna tread for once lightly, and I'll say to each his own, to each their own. But I firmly believe if you're a realtor, a professional realtor, you should be focused on one thing first. Real estate. And in real estate, you should be focusing on taking care of who?
Your clients.
Your clients. This isn't rocket science, right? So when I see this, I'm like, people are just I think they're getting sidetracked with that squirrel mentality of I'm gonna do everything other than what I need to do.
Yeah,
to
or they're
succeed.
dabblers, and they find one thing and they dabble, and then they go to another thing and they dabble, and then they never actually fully embrace one specific thing and get successful. Like some of our top agents, they're super consistent. You know what I mean? They know what works, they're consistent, and that's how they succeed.
They're uber committed.
Yeah, they're committed,
And
and
some
it
of
shows.
what our top agents are doing with their money are buying houses.
Buying houses,
Totally.
investing in other business. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you really want to be. Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. He says your day job is going to change your life to an extent. It'll take you from whatever class you're at and take you to the next class if you work hard at it. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
He says, but you know this. You've been there with me in the room.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you do with that other money, where you invest it, whether it's in stocks or houses or businesses. That I don't want to say it's your play money, it's your discretionary income, where you can take chances other places, and that's where you see big success, right? That's where you can potentially hit it.
Mm-hmm.
But here, it's you got to do the things that are consistent, right? Your day job to make all that money. And if you're banking on just recruiting other realtors in order to be successful in your day job, I think you're missing the boat completely.
I agree.
You're not touching this with a 10-foot pole, are you?
No, even the people that are within these organizations want you to sell houses because it doesn't work unless you sell houses.
Fair. That's true.
It doesn't work. So I recruited 15 of you and none of you sold the house. So what do I get for that? 0.
That's a good thing. Good point. All right, I think we're beating this to a dead horse. Everyone's being a little bit gun shy on it. All I'm saying is this: when realtors retire, when anyone retires, you have to have a plan. You have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in housing. You have to invest in safe things like insurance.
Yeah, but it shouldn't just be about retirement either. I mean, you could get hurt or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, without a doubt.
As realtors, you don't have like disability plans and workman's comp and all
Right.
of those.
And the retiring thing, my answer would be, when does realtors retire? A year after they get the license if they never sold a home.
That's true.
You know, when do realtors retire? When you're in 10 years and you haven't had a client come back to you and you're doing no business.
Totally.
The reference to age on retirement are two different things in my eyes.
And I say, if you're a great realtor, you never retire because you built a book of business that is so strong of referrals and people that you know that you're referring them out to other people doing business, and there's your retirement. You want to build a retirement,
Yeah.
you build a
a network.
database,
Yeah,
Right.
that you
That
can
is-
refer out to people that'll pay you.
pay you
And
forever.
Because you could still be that trusted person to where they go to, and you can still be involved in a certain, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you don't have to be out there actually selling.
Right.
Which is
Hustling.
super important, because it comes back to I got a guy. So we've had clients, this is interesting, who are friends. Start with him. You sold them a house, maybe a couple. He became GM, got busy, went to me. I sold them houses. I got busy with Urban Nest and all that other stuff. And now Angie, they've been through the whole, and then they come into the office and they want all three of our opinion because they're all a little bit different.
Usually they like me and Angie a lot better than you.
Yeah.
Because they don't want the truth.
They do. But they're busy too. They're always doing something, and they're all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, so there are a lot of ways, and the reality is do the work and all the good stuff will come. Okay, since that wasn't a tough enough, touchy topic, let's go to another one. Apparently it's easier to make a unicorn pancake than it is to sell your home. Now, the iBuyer game, we talk about it seems like every week. It's one of those things that I almost hate talking about because I think that it is overblown, and I think it's such a niche, what do you go with? Niche. It's such a niche market, and you have to be really, if you're an intelligent, informed seller, I don't see you using this method, but people are doubling down on
And
this.
my answer to it is, it's the biggest sale of your life, and I would check all forms of companies and be sure to do apples to apples and leave no money on the table.
Well, the thing that rubs me the wrong way a little
That's
bit
my answer there.
is the reason why I said apparently there's a new one out, because there's so many of them, where it's great marketing. The marketing that these companies are doing, they have a lot of money behind them, and they're doing a better job of marketing. They're telling a better story. In my mind, though, it's a bullshit story, but it's a better story. In this ad, I just showed you both, is a dad, looks like a single dad, or maybe it seems like a single dad, right? That's how, and he's making a unicorn pancake for his daughter, and he's having a hard time with it. But since he doesn't have enough time to make the unicorn pancake, he goes online and gets an instant offer on his house, and he sells it so quickly. And it's apparently harder to, make a unicorn pancake than sell a house. What's your take on this, my wife?
It's just like that person that gets into real estate and thinks real estate is so easy. And then they get into the back and they're like, oh, shit, I didn't realize that you have to talk to this person and this person. You have to deal with this. And what about the repairs? And all of these different things that you're in the middle of. It's like my number one pet peeve.
Well, in this, they say there's no repairs you got to deal with, right?
No, there is repairs.
But you just have to pay it.
You just have to pay for all the repairs.
Yeah, you
and you don't know how much the repairs cost
right,
in the
exactly.
first
And
place.
they're usually overinflated to the reality of the cost of what it is.
Exactly.
Plus, you're only getting one offer. This is like going on Tinder and marrying the first person that you want to date. You're getting one offer.
And if somebody sat down and was like, oh, I'm okay with this listing price, right? With a realtor, right? They go to a realtor and they say, I'm okay with this offer price. Well, 90% of the time, the realtor listed at that price, it's going to be so undervalued that you're going to get 6 or 7 offers on the house and get it bid up.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
And my answer is our association gives you a multiple offer form that you
Sellers multiple counter.
counter. And why do you do a multiple counter? To get highest and best? How does that work on any of these programs with the iBuyer?
You're competing against yourself.
Right.
Without an expert.
You never know if you left $20,000 or $30,000
You have no clue.
on the table.
Yep.
And frictionless. I will talk about this every single time to anybody. When you have humans involved, there is no such thing. You have a human on each side of a transaction. This is still one of these companies which is owned by humans, whether it's a corporation or not, a Wall Street, and you have sellers who are humans. Good luck that this is going to be frictionless.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm overstepping my bounds or not by saying it, but the funny thing about it is that these companies that are doing this, it's because they're failing in everything else that they tried to go out for. And the agents are starting to pick up on all that because that's where they were actually making a lot of their
So I think yes and no with that. I think,
money.
and this is a good segue. People freaked out the last 3 months. They just freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of companies that were grown in the last 12 years don't have the time like you, or even me now with almost 20 something years in, to have seen it go up and down and up and down. So this is like the first time in 10, 12 years, or not 10, 12 years, maybe 8, right? What, about 2012? Yeah, about 7, 8 years, where they're like saying, wow, this is what it's like not making money for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to end? Am I going to stick to what I'm good at, or am I going to veer too quickly? Like, I think people got a little rattled, like, uh-oh, this may not work in a crappy market.
And everybody is rattling. Like some buyers are saying, oh, I'm not going to buy a house, I'm going to rent because the market's going to crash because it's been so good. There's no data to support it, but it's an instability of your mind more than it is.
And this is where it comes full circle. If I'm sitting down with a client and they're like, is now a good time to buy? And this sounds like a total salesy pitch, right? Or is now a good time to sell? And the reality is it's always a good time to sell and it's always a good time to buy. It just depends on how you do it. It's a good time to buy if you get a great rate and you put enough money down and you have a professional expert helping you navigate the market and you're positioned to win in any market. Because you bought one of those houses at somewhat of a high, right? It was in the middle, right? The one in Woodside was kind of in the middle. But you could argue that if the rates
I
go
bought
up,
it in 05.
yeah, you did,
No problem,
right?
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, but if the rates go up 1% or 2, and the prices go down, you're still paying the same amount for the house.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Like, they're focusing on the wrong thing. So, it's
Like
just,
I said, keep a safety net in real estate is the best.
I think they're doubling down, these companies, which they're smart. They're doubling down on the fact that 80% of realtors, maybe, they do a better job than.
NAR came out, by the way, NAR came out with a 63% of the agents are women, and the average age is 53 years old.
You know what the best part about this is? I'm the one who shared it into Nest Connect.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I did the survey,
Oh,
so I got the NAR results.
gotcha.
So I didn't see yours.
But
Okay.
You think you did it? No.
no, but
Anyone that
talking about?
did you participate in the survey?
No, I don't
Oh,
believe the
because
surveys.
anyone that participated in the survey got the results.
I don't believe the surveys.
Oh, I did. I believe it. Generational.
Yeah, because it's all in the context. All right, back to what we were talking about. I think.
He has to rope us in. Good.
No, I'm not trying to rope you in. I just wanted to
No,
finish
I
this
mean
thought.
lost us into the conversation. C-A-D-D-D-D.
And now George is saying she went over these stats 3 weeks ago. She got us both beat.
I just got the email.
She must have had some inside information.
She must be a better fan of NAR than we.
But I think the reason why people think that the iBuyer, that they're doubling down on this so much, is I think people are think that the normal person in the market doesn't know better. They're going to be attracted to the perceived simpleness of this.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, it's funny because I just recently had a title rep come and talk to me and stuff, and even she went from like escrow to title, like marketing, and she was completely honest, and she's like, I didn't realize, even being in escrow, how hard realtors work. She's like, I, as an escrow officer, would sit there and be like, you know, their job's so easy, look at what they're getting paid, et cetera, until it switched, and she's like, and now seeing like what they actually do on a day-to-day basis, like the ones that produce, she's like, I had no idea. And so that's, I think, taking all of this, I mean, it's the same thing with the iBuyers, with everybody, like nobody understands how complicated it is. And then you're dealing with people's emotions. It's like life experiences.
Yeah.
It's like all this stuff that they're going through. You know what I mean?
I think it is an insult a little bit to how difficult it is to be a successful realtor.
I mean, when you look at the scheme of things, people go, oh, you know, they make so much, like,
well, they don't,
for
because
certain percentages, don't they make less than teachers or something? If you
so we might as well go to the numbers, right? And the crazy thing about the numbers is, let's see, where are these?
And drop the ball, oh boy, all full blame goes on the realtor.
Oh, totally. But it's just funny how people perceive, like it's just this.
Yeah, showing houses and fun.
Yeah, so fun because they show it on TV.
I love realtor. I love houses and whatnot. So here are the demographics. But the median gross income was $39,800 in 2017, and it dropped from $42,500 in 2016. So, and it's not like a pressure-free $38,000 because it's not taking into account what you have to invest to get that $38,000, what you pay out to taxes.
How about health insurance and all this stuff that we have to pay, you know, on our own?
Yep.
And marketing expenses and all of that.
And I think the big one is stress. You don't know when that $38,000 is coming.
Totally.
You know, a lot of people, like for instance, Danny right behind her, she could be an amazing realtor, right? Fantastic. But a lot of people want the security of a paycheck every single month. There's something to be said for knowing that every 2 weeks that paycheck's coming.
See, I just don't know any better. Because I got my license when I was 19. You know what
totally.
I mean?
I do.
I don't know what it's like to get an actual paycheck every couple of weeks.
I do.
And that is, I hate, maybe I should use a better thing, but it's like having a gun to your head. all the time being an entrepreneur.
I also think that it gives you the impetus not to sit back and say, I'll do it tomorrow, because you know in this business, if you don't work every day, you are not gonna have a tomorrow in money.
Yeah,
So,
there is a gift in that. You know, if we lived our lives like that,
that's what I'm saying. When you know you're getting a check, you can say, oh,
there's no
I'm getting a
complacency.
check anyway, not in this job.
There is something to be said. All entrepreneurial endeavors are like that, right? Okay. Number 3. Is the nest raising its standards too high? I've had some feedback on like, whoa, from other companies, some agents, and my answer is absolutely not. We still should be raising them higher and higher. I will not let what is accepted in this industry pull down the people who want to do the work. It's not just Urban Nest. There are so many agents and companies out there who are begging for more standards, some more accountability, more things to strive for. So no, we're just
and our
gonna.
clients should appreciate that too. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree. You got to communicate the
it's
message.
world class service, baby.
And that's from the agent to the client. But I'm talking from the
Client or
from the brokerage to the agent.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't. It's this thing of. You can't wait, and this is, I know I give NAR or GLVAR or NVAR or the associations a little bit of a hard time, but I will say in all fairness to them, it's not their job to come save us. At all.
No, it isn't.
Right.
It is their job to save us.
Protect us, yes.
In the government issues and tax structure, and on that last tax bill, they did save us.
That's stuff that is potentially out of control of the everyday realtor.
No, but they could give money to it to save our job.
I get it, but just...
Well, what you said. Look what you just said about me having the tax exemption, right? That was saved by our... So each branch has to do something, but not what you're talking about.
He could kill a good point. They're not saving us. That's a lobby. That's all that is.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is they're not coming to save you. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, I think a lot of realtors
Or independent
look up to NAR and say, I'm not making enough money, it's your fault.
Oh,
Why aren't...
That's silly.
I don't think they're saying it like that, but I think they're blaming industry things on associations and want... Like, I have to, like, smack people around and say... Oh, it's the iBuyers. I'm like, whoa, the iBuyers are realtors too. Like, step your game up. Communicate the message more. Do a better job of advertising and explaining to the client how it works. Don't wait for anybody else to come save you, because it's not going to happen, right? And even us, we could set standards here, but the agents are the ones that do the work for their business. We can put them down the right path. We could open the door, but they got to step through it. They got to walk the path. Don't you agree with that a little bit?
Yeah, thank God I was due.
They do, overwhelmingly. But I think it's our job to say, you know what? To remind people, to make them remember that this isn't good enough for you, not for us. This isn't. You should expect more from yourself. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm giving you a yes.
This is how dinner's done sometimes.
All the time. It's
Whoa,
always good to
there's
have
gonna be a
different
quick one today.
viewpoints all the time.
Okay. Lastly, couple updates for Urban Nest agents only. We will be having a St. Patrick's Day potluck. Bring your own Guinness and Jameson
On
the 18th of March.
2 o'clock.
Till 2 or at 2?
At 2. With corned beef and cabbage.
We'll
That
be
Danny's making.
Are you really? Ew. I guess that's the staple, right?
That's the staple for St. Patrick's.
I'm gonna make dirt cups.
Please do, because
What a
I'll eat
dirt
yours.
cup.
You're gonna have to buy new Oreos.
I know, you eat all of
I
them.
eat all the
Oreos, it's this crushed up Oreos with chocolate pudding and Cool Whip. It's amazing.
Oh,
I'll make a practice round before I bring them in.
okay.
Do you want to talk about your stats?
No.
The March stats, I mean, the February stats have not come out yet.
The GLBAL stats haven't come out.
What's your predictions?
I thought the median price may go down a little bit because it was quiet. And I think that it's going to show a not pleasant February and we're coming to a brilliant March.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the stats are the month before.
Without a doubt. So let's talk about that. That's the last part of this segment is, I talked about it a little bit in Nest Connect. We're a couple weeks away from the first quarter being done,
Mm-hmm.
right? We talked about the fact this was freak out quarter for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was slow, even like for me.
So the irony is we don't look back in the past or measure enough and see that this happens every single year. I had the same exact conversation last year at lunch with like 3 or 4 other top producer realtors and owners of companies, and a buddy of mine was jokingly saying I was ready to close the door. He's one of the top producers in all of Vegas. This was last year, 2018. So as we come across, what are we, March, 6th? We got 3.5 weeks left.
Today is Ash Wednesday.
Is it really? With the little ash on the,
Yeah.
but the rain will come right off.
Yeah.
We'll talk about, that's what we'll end the day with, what you're giving up for Lent.
Yesterday was Fat Tuesday.
Yeah, so it's gotta love America. Mardi Gras and that in the same week.
Well, the theory was party hard
Yeah.
the day before because
Well,
the
they
next.
don't have anything to do with each other, do they?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
He's got me thinking about it though.
Uh,
But consider the source, like I said the other day.
I said I don't know. I don't know. I'm just giving you the I don't know.
But what we, oh my God, what we were talking about yesterday in Nest Connect is, now is the time, right? So we have like 20 closings coming in a day right now. I mean, it's insanity. They're starting to really close, but it's not too late. If you're a buyer, seller, or an agent, right? If you're a buyer, this may be the calm before the storm. If this is a seller, you've been waiting a couple of months to get your house sold. This may be the time. Rates are still low. It's an opportunistic situation for all parties. If you're a realtor and you haven't been committing to doing what you need to do to have successful summer, right? Next quarter or spring, let's say, it's not too late. You can still double down now. What we have seen in our numbers, some of our best months are March, April, May, little lull in the summer, and then August, boom again, craziness, right?
Yeah.
So my parting shot would be, treat it like you are ramping up for your summer body, right? So you got the last 3 weeks of this quarter and the next couple of months, you got March, April, and May, let's say, to go do the work out, start getting a little color, start eating good. So by the time June hits, you have a summer body ready to go.
6-pack I'm going for.
Same thing in business. Here's where you put the time in, right? So that when May and June hit, you're collecting your commissions because you put in all the work. Because this is like a football game, I believe, life, especially in every single year, right? You have the first quarter of the game starts out slow. There's generally not a lot of scoring in the first quarter of a game. The teams are feeling each other's out, right?
That's why you want 0-0 for the Super Bowl.
Right? So you start 0-0. Then the second quarter, it's before the half, they start getting some urgency, right? People start scoring some touchdowns. You see a lot of scoring on the second quarter. That's what we're going to start seeing now. Then at halftime, the halftime show is like the 2 weeks of vacation that everybody takes in July, right?
Yeah.
It's the Christmas in the middle of the year. Gone. So you can enjoy
and
your
it's
halftime.
125 degrees here, so nobody wants to work and show houses.
Exactly. That's why there's always a low. Third quarter, jump back in, and then the fourth quarter,
And prepare
everyone's
for the fourth quarter to
scramble.
close it out.
Everyone's scrambling to make their year look good and to win the game of the year. So you got to look at your life as these quarters. So put in the work now, if you haven't already.
This is the time.
This is the time.
Yeah.
This is the fundamentals backed by technology, right?
It's perfect. Time.
What is so you super simple, fundamental. The challenge you've been putting out to our agents. You want to share with them, or you want
No.
to leave it just for? Okay, he's not sharing. But hit your database.
But you don't share.
No,
Man, it wasn't. It's. I want to count how many words you said during this thing. No. Okay.
Let me explain. Some of the joys of being at Urban Nest is you have to be at Urban Nest
To get the treasures.
That's
the
true.
treasure.
The treasure.
You got it.
Okay, so we're not going to tell you anything you need to do.
No, we can tell them that.
Listen, just do the work. Have a plan every single day. You're hitting what, your database, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just getting in front of your people. Don't be a secret agent. We talk about this.
And I'm also showing up. That's part of half the battle. You know,
Yes.
it's like you gotta actually go to work and
I
try.
could not agree more. So put it in. All right, you guys are like
Sorry.
the worst ever.
It's too late, baby.
What's,
This was last minute. I didn't know.
And I don't have my
what was
juice
happening.
today, so and his topics weren't of my
They weren't that exciting,
bailiwick.
actually.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you gotta
step
maybe
your- it's 'cause
to
you're
get
wins.
us more lively, you gotta
Step
throw
up
in
your topics.
your topics. So let's blame you on either end. And
Or just ask me for topics, and I'll come up with better
for
topics.
the Urban Nest, we have Lawyer's Title doing prelim, all the hard, ugly prelims that we don't understand.
All the hard, ugly prelims that I understand prelims, no problem. And
Well-
the way that lawyers shows you, it's highlighted to what to look for. So it's
That is Thursday, lunch and learn at 12 o'clock. Great class.
I want to kill you. I want to beat your ass.
Kissing.
No. No. So the Dave and Dave show, my idea, every single thing, but they're gonna break my chops. What are you giving up for lunch?
Liver and bacon.
Liver and bacon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving up the snooze button
Nice.
because I pushed it like 5, maybe 10 times this morning.
Did you really?
Yes.
I didn't
I
hear it
woke
at
up
all.
an hour later than I wanted
What are
to.
you giving up?
You would get me in trouble if I
Okay.
said it.
Don't say it.
Listen, bringing this full circle, here's the reality. Everything we talk about every single week comes back to one thing. You're responsible for your success. You take ownership. Don't listen to the noise surrounding this industry. There's a lot of it. It's easy to get caught up in the nonsense. Put your head down, do the work, do the fundamentals, and you will see success. And you won't have to worry about any other nonsense out there. You do your 40 deals. We have our 500 agents. We do our 6,000 transactions that are our goals. And you don't worry about the nonsense surrounding you. That's what I got for you.
And you get, wherever you are, get the support in your company to make you successful with plans on how to be successful.
Do you have to get the last word?
Yes. You always ask me what's your
I know
last
that was
word.
you already said your last word. All right, done for today. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
No.